Okay.
You understand? Webster Clark, he started this Inside the LBA that he's broadcasting our games. Free of charge. We don't charge none of them for anything. You see, and this is helping us to promote the league.
Do you think it's the best way to go without you getting hold of your own social media platform?
Currently, we don't have the funding to do that.
All right.
We can't. We cannot even pay Intel Sports to come and carry the U16 games, which we're part of FIBA regulations. We're supposed to stream these games live. We're struggling to even find sponsors to be able to help us to do that. And these young kids, passionate about the game. Webster is a coach in the league. Wesley was a former president of Morovia Rockers or something like that from the 3rd Division. Wesley is there working with us. So all we can do is we empower these young people. And for us, it's youth empowerment. And this is what the LBA wants to be proud of.
So the team plays, in terms of the foreign players, $400 are being paid?
So when it comes to the foreign players, there's a fee. Foreign players is $400 a player. And then in what we call the FIBA map. FIBA map is the Porter system of FIBA, where we regulate transfers and national team registration of players. So that's a 250 Swiss francs that you have to pay in order to transfer the player if he's from another club. Unless the player was free, then we don't have to pay that transfer fee.
So we now have to pay that transfer fee. He's the Secretary General of the Liberia Basketball Association, Calvin Dix. He's been here talking more about the Basketball Association, the league running. He had made 2 allegations in relation to publication of face shot, that which has been said against him, but it's no longer an allegation, it's a fact. Based upon that, he's talking about challenges faced, politics are taking hold of the LBA, and they are trying their best, making sure to have a little sweat into the competition and to have a better competition. First of a kind, they have camps for players that have to do with internationals, coaches coming to teach players. And they are talking about it, as well as having the league to another level. We'll go for this break to come back for the final discussion of the day on the LBA.
On the live conversation, the analysis and discussions with the stakeholders, players, and fans, live and direct on Intel Sports. Weekend Wrap comes your way every Saturday from 10 to 12 midday. Join your presenters, Elijah Pine and Edwin Batafoyan, live and exclusive on Intel Sports.
So welcome back. It's the final segment of our today edition of the Weekend Wrap. He's Calvin Dix, the Secretary General of the Liberia Basketball Association. Mr. Dix, this time around we're going to talk about what has the team rostered yet to be published, and when the deadline has passed since June 2nd. What is happening?
Okay. So immediately after the June 2nd registration process, some team presidents petitioned the administration to extend that deadline to enable players to move around freely. There's a couple of issues that some teams had in terms of there were players who had played maybe 1 game for a team. And by rule, the LBA, if you've played 1 game for a team, you belong to that team for that season. All right? But what teams are saying is we are a league for development. We want to develop players. If a team is not going to use a player and he's just going to sit on the bench for the entire season, it's no benefit to the player, it's no benefit to the team, it's no benefit to the league. All right? So upon these petitions from some of the team presidents, this is now being taken to the executive committee. That is why the rosters is on hold. After this, maybe I think Tuesday, the executive committee might be meeting on this issue. Once we resolve this issue, we will either extend the deadline or publish the team rosters.
So we're with the publishing of
yes. We should be within this week that is coming.
Let's talk about the U18. You had the competition in Africa.
Yes.
Tell us about your performance. How do you see the team, as well as what you hope for the team? So
for the first time in 20 years, Liberia was represented again within our zone qualifiers for the first time. And we took a U18 team, boys and girls, for the first time. And our girls surprisingly took Ivory Coast neck to neck into the last second. The Ivorian team beat us on the last basket in the last second for our female team. We were no match for Nigeria. Nigeria really blew us out. As a matter of fact, I think they set a record of points on Liberia. And this is some of the reason why when we got back and we said, listen, it is time that we develop our women basketball in Liberia. The boys were very, very good. They were competitive. We happened to win only one game, but some of the games were very close. But again, it was an eye-opener. Okay. It's the first time our players were playing on a wooden floor. Okay, we went to Ivory Coast and the kids, I mean, it was like you took kids to a candy store. They saw wooden floors and electronic scoreboards all over. I mean,
it was strange for them.
It was strange, but the kids went wild. They went crazy. They have fun. They enjoy themselves. And this is what we want from our young people. And they were able to come back and talk to their friends and tell them about it. So now, when we called for the U16, a whole bunch of kids showed up.
Wow.
You know, whether they were good or not, they just wanted to be a part. Everybody wanted an opportunity. And the U18, I spoke to the kids when we were on the bus going to Ivory Coast. And I said to them, you are going to represent Liberia. You're going to play not only for yourselves, but you're going to play for the next generation of Liberian basketballers. And this is exactly what is taking place now. Look at the U16. Here it is now. We're prepared a U16 team, boys and girls, and we're going to go back into a qualifier. So it was a success.
Of that trip, there was said amount given to the LBA.
Yes.
And I stand to be corrected in the sum of 48,000.
48?
I stand to be corrected on
No,
that.
81.
81,000.
81,000.
United States dollars.
Yes, for two teams.
From the government of Liberia.
From the Republic, yes, sir.
Yeah, so stakeholders are saying, presidents and some actors in the sectors are saying, they are yet to see the report. Why is holding on to this report?
All right, so that's another one again, where we talk facts versus politics.
Okay.
All right, the politics is some people want to say,
they just want to have a point to talk.
yes, you know, they need relevance,
Okay.
which is okay for us, so we don't mind. After the trip to the Ivory Coast, we immediately came back to Liberia and held the African Women's Basketball League tournament here in Liberia. We hosted our first international tournament.
Okay.
Immediately after that, we went into FIBA National Youth Camp, which we also held here in Liberia. All of these took a delay on preparing the reports to send back to the ministry, first of all. All right. So the reports have been sent to the Ministry of Youth and Sports. The issue there, why teams have not received the report, is that report is part of all of the reports that is going to be given out at Congress.
Okay.
Secondly, right? Structure again. Let's talk about the structure of the federation.
Okay.
We have a president, and then we have Corps of officials, right? Vice president, administration. We have vice president,
And the Secretary
operation.
General was appointed by the president.
The Secretary General is appointed by the president.
Yeah.
But the Secretary General does not give financial reports.
Yeah.
So people, and this is why.
Yeah, the reason why I asked this question.
No, I know.
This question is not for you.
I know.
But you are, as an executive of the LBA.
I understand. But in the latest press issues, people are saying or claiming that it is the Secretary General that should be fired because he didn't make report. Because I headed the delegation, so they expected me. So when you head a delegation, right, and you take funding with you, you come back and you
report
take your
to
receipts.
your boss.
Yes, you report to your boss. Okay. And my boss reports to the executive committee.
Okay.
All of these steps which have been followed. The reports is with the Ministry of Youth and Sports. You see what I'm saying? Which is then going to forward it on to...
So the LBA have taken it to the Ministry of Youth and Sports.
Of course, we've already done all of these. Now, team presidents are going to receive these reports with the activity reports in the midterm Congress that we're going to hold. We didn't have a first finances again. In our first year, we weren't able to hold a Congress, which is mandated by the Constitution. All right? The Constitution says at least once a year we should hold a Congress. All right? But when you don't have funds, you go back to the executive committee and say, hey, listen, instead of us holding this Congress this year, let's move it to the middle. And we should follow the standards of our parent body.
Okay.
FIBA does not have a Congress every year. FIBA has a midterm Congress. So everybody is elected for 4 years. In the first 2 years, you give a report.
Okay.
And then in the last 2 years, you give a report, and then you go to elections.
So we don't have the luxury of time. We'll have more to talk about this next time.
No problem.
So this time around, we want to know you as a Secretary General, your relationship with club presidents as well as coaches. What's your relationship with them?
I have an excellent relationship with coaches, with team presidents, with administrative of sports within the basketball. I continue to build on that. What people fail to realize, I was a president for 12 years, and that's why I commend these young and passionate team presidents. Okay, because they have a lot to offer. My only advice to them is take the politics out of it, focus on developing your team, because it is the results from your team that speaks volume of what you're able to do as a team president.
Thank you so much, Mr. Calvin Diggs. He's the Secretary General of the Liberia Basketball Association, speaking to all of the happenings in the level of the LBA. We will come back again next weekend to talk more about basketball in Liberia. This time around, we'll be giving full hour to Mr. Calvin Diggs, where he will talk more about the sports. This time around, we have no time to waste. We will not go on for this climax of this segment on the Weekend Wrap. My name is Elijah Pine. I was here with Edwin Badafoye. Bye-bye.
On the live conversation, the analysis and discussions with the stakeholders, players, and fans, live and direct on Intel Sports. Weekend Wrap comes your way every Saturday from 10 to 12 midday. Join your presenters, Elijah Pine and Edwin Batafoyen, live and exclusive on Intel Sports. Intel Sports, Liberia's premier and exclusive sports and television station. Intel Sports, we offer professional sports coverages to include live coverage, sports analysis and commentaries, documentaries, features, pre and post productions, highlights of all disciplines, and many more. For business purposes, you can contact us on these numbers. Intel Sports will remain Liberia's premier and exclusive sports television. provides you with the opportunity to interact directly with the stakeholders in the sector, players, fans, including technicians. It comes your way once a week, every Wednesday from 1 to 2 p.m. with a repeat on Thursday at 2 p.m. Midway Sports highlights major happenings and trending news, as well as captivating action and stories, all in the sector. Beyond the live conversation, the analysis and discussions with the stakeholders, players, and fans live and direct on Intel Sports. Weekend Wrap comes your way every Saturday from 10 to 12 midday. Join your presenters, Elijah Pine and Edwin Batafoyan, live and exclusive on Intel Sports. It's new, factual, reliable, and professional. That's Sports Today on Intel Sports. Watch all of the actions, interviews with the athletes and experts in the sector on Liberia's exclusive sports online television, Intel Sports. Sports Today is a 15-minute package of local sports news live on Intel Sports at these times.